Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us on the 7:30 news. I am Benoît. Search operations intensified today in the vicinities of Ebebda as divers of the Cameroon Navy and their counterparts of the Fire and Rescue Unit combed the bellies of the River Sanaga with hope of finding the Bishop of Bafia purported to have dropped in the river yesterday. The frantic search and rescue missions continued along the day with the hope of finding the missing prelate, whether dead or alive. Ebenezer Akanga spent the day on the banks of the river and reports that no trace of the missing bishop are yet to be found.
Search operations for the missing Bishop of BAFIA began early in the morning this Thursday. According to the mayor of Ebebda, traditional divers were sent into River Sanaga as early as 6:30 a.m. to begin the search. Shortly after, divers of the National Navy arrived on the scene to join in the search operations. They joined divers of the Army Fire and Rescue Unit with whom they concerted on how to carry out a coordinated search operation.
The divers of the National Navy and the divers of the Fire Department are going to work together in order to be able to make sure that we find out if in fact there is somebody down in here that we've come to look for.
Technically, what we are going to do right now is we are going to put in place kind of work that will have our divers trying to see the place where the priest is supposed to be. So we are going to go down there by diving, make sure that there is nothing down there.
The divers from the two corps of the military got set and swung into action. The crowd waited anxiously for the outcome of the search operation. After more than 2 hours in water, the divers came back without success.
We realized that in the middle of the river there is no way to find the corpse. So what we are going to do now, right now, we are going to start back from the end of the river and coming back among the river to make sure that there is nothing left down the water.
While the search was going on, the social media was disseminating false information that the corpse of the bishop had been found. Reason for this press briefing granted on the banks of River Sanaga to state the truth.
The main idea of this information is to tell you that we have not found the bishop so far in this water.
As CRTV reporters left Ebebda after this press briefing, the Army Fire and Rescue Unit and the Navy were preparing to go for a second round of the search operation.
And as the search operations continue, the perplexed and dumbfounded Christians of the Bafia diocese have intensified prayers and as uncertainty continues to loom over the whereabouts of Bishop Jean-Marie Benoît BALA. Lekiate Gertrude Asongazi of CRTV Center is just back from Bafia, where she says the Christians are still gripped by shock and consternation.
Fear, grief and depression characterized the Bafia Cathedral this morning since the disappearance of His Lordship Jean-Marie Benoît BALA on Wednesday, a day many Christians have described as a Black Wednesday. According to the parish priest of the St. Sebastian Cathedral, before his disappearance, His Lordship Jean-Marie Benoît BALA faced some challenging moments as any other Catholic bishop.
We are praying for this situation. We don't know where is the bishop, but we know that God knows. We know that the Holy Spirit knows.
At the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish in Ombesa, the Christians are looking up to the Holy Spirit for intercession.
And our earnest prayer is that God should help us at least find his body. That is our earnest prayer for now.
Christians have intensified prayers of adoration.
In the meantime, close aides of the Bishop Jean-Marie Benoît BALA are saying that they noticed an expression of fatigue on the prelate hours before his disappearance. However, the clergyman reassured them that he wasn't feeling sick at all and that all will be well after all. Larry Afande reports on the bishop's last days as recounted to him by his housemates.
Shock and pain beamed on gloomy faces. The telling of silence, absence, a barrage of questions whose answers aren't found, not even in the sealed police entrance at the bishopric.
He was very tired from the beginning of the week. On Monday and Tuesday, I met him at his apartment where he worked and not the office. He asked why were certain documents delayed, and I explained why.
Hands are crossed in despair as others mutter the rosary. Bishop Bala drove off his apartment through this gate solo after 11 p.m. Tuesday, but took an unusual trajectory opposite his normal exit route. The garden meted. Those who saw him 24 hours before his disappearance noticed some psychological torture.
He had something bothering him. While we were together, he cancelled a lot of appointments on phone. We had our last meal on Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. and I told him to call me should there be any need, but he did not.
A disposition most believe crept in when the rector of this minor seminary, Reverend Father Njam, passed away. He was buried last week, a week before Bishop Bala's disappearance. The chief shepherd didn't preach at the coffin, but came in to give a word of thanks.
I called his number on Wednesday morning, but it did not go through. I called the secretary and I came because he left a note for me. The correspondence to the nuncio was sealed.
He didn't confide in any of these, I'm told, but his cook, secretary, and driver are not disposed to the media for now. This man has been around the bishop for the past 7 years and can tell of his mood swing. Tuesday, the bishop's last business day, some resentment was observed.
At midday, I came to the office because he needed the phone number of an account manager of SGC. While I sat, I noticed it took him more than 20 minutes to register the number into his phone.
Search intensifies. More prayers are said. BAFIA is pale as if to say they miss their bishop, but gazed are fixed on the sky, the river, and the earth.
And the missing bishop has been described as a devoted, disciplined, and trustworthy man of God. The Archbishop of Yaoundé, His Grace Jean Barga, was speaking today in Yaoundé while expressing shock following the news of his disappearance. Quinta Rita Edam reports.
The disappearance of Bishop Jean-Marie Benoît Bala has left the entire Catholic community confused and demoralized, with its leaders staying glued to TV and radio sets as well as telephones for information concerning the missing prelate.
I am very sad. I'm suffering because we have never lived this kind of situation. It is about the bishop, the spiritual leader. I can imagine the trouble these situations is causing in the diocese, but I believe in God and I put my confidence in Him.
As experts continue with the frantic search, prayers and meditation have been prescribed to evoke the light of the Holy Spirit to find Him.
A period of questions without answers. The best attitude is to pray, control ourselves, and to remain solid. I want to congratulate all the authorities because the mobilization was very rapid.
According to his childhood friend and colleague, he is a calm, prudent, and trustworthy person.
Bishop is a wise man, very calm and very soft personality, which can help you when you are in trouble.
Bishop Jean-Marie Benoît Bala was born in Balmayo in 1959, where he studied in the minor seminary before proceeding to the major seminary in Colbison. Ordained priest in 1987 in Yaoundé by the late Archbishop Jean-Sois, he served as parish priest in Cité-Vert, Njongmeleng, and as rector of the Saint Thérèse Minor Seminary, Mvoli, Yaoundé, before his appointment as bishop of BAFIA in 2003, a post he held before the unfortunate incident.